Starting.
Yeah, see,
Live.
my kilobits per second right now is at 6,500.
Wow. I mean, you do have more bandwidth than me, but oh shit. If this doesn't work, dude, you can do it. I think it's working.
Let me see.
At least it's thinking anyway. It's doing more than it was doing before. So this is live.
It is.
Let's make sure it doesn't drop any frames.
Is it up?
I don't know. I'm like watching an old one. It says it's up, but I'm trying to find like. One sec. I don't know. I'm like watching it. It's up, but
Mine's only like a second behind.
One sec. I think it's good.
Yep.
I don't know. I'm like watching it. It's up, but
Mine's only like a second.
all right, cool. I think it's gonna work better. It sucks because that microphone works good everywhere else, but whatever. Let me see. I got the chat room open. Let me tweet it out and do all that fun stuff.
Should really just schedule those, so that way we can just.
How do you schedule it?
Using Hootsuite, or Twitter actually just came out with a second app because they've had their Twitter Engage, but now they have Twitter Dashboard, and that one allows you to schedule, which is pretty cool. So I got this new alarm app that it's cool. So you set the time you want to wake up and then what days you want it to happen.
Yeah.
And there's no snooze button. And basically when the alarm goes off, in order to turn it off, you have to, but when you first set it up, you take a picture of something away from your bed. So like I did of the light switch, because it has to be like a simple object.
Yeah.
And you, to get the alarm off, you have to take a picture of the object that you set it up with, and then you have to like solve this quick brain game, and it basically forces you to like get up and out, which is cool.
Sounds like I would hate that thing. What was the other story? Nintendo. All right, you've been tweeted.
Been tweeted.
You've been tweeted.
I might just retweet that. So,
did you watch that girl, dude?
I was literally just about to say, did you watch the, so I watched that one for like a minute, and for anyone who doesn't know what we're talking about, the Poppy girl or something.
Play it, dude.
She also, in the related video or whatever, I retweeted, in the related video, there was like, ask Poppy a question, and it's just like a minute and a half.
Oh, I watched it.
Dude, it makes Lady Gaga look normal.
Dude, that girl, well, it's a character first off, because she actually has an interview and she's like completely normal.
Wait, really?
Yeah, it's a total character. But dude, I only know about it from Michael Fisher from, he's Mr. Mobile now, whatever. He used to be on Pocket now. But yeah, he tweeted that out. He's like, I keep watching this. And I was like, what is it? And I clicked on it, and she's like the weirdest chick ever. I love it, though. It's like, it's funny.
I was super excited when you tweeted me a link. I was like, oh, I bet this will be a cool video. And then I was like, there's 2 minutes of my life I'll never get back.
Oh my god! Every video is like a minute 30, sometimes 45 seconds.
Except that one, which is 10 minutes of one Poppy.
It's just the same thing over and over. Okay. So let's open up with. I guess we open up with the big boy the Note 7 story, right?
Yeah. Aren't you gonna do your thing first?
Oh yeah. Sorry, I'm just talking to you. I'm not talking to them.
Then what do you mean, you people?
All right, let me get this going. Oh! I gotta put my camera on so I can see myself. Where we at? All right. What is going on, guys? GregglesTV and my buddy Initial Focus doing our best to give you the top tech news every single week, every Thursday. We usually do it at 6 p.m. Pacific, but follow our Twitters and you'll see exactly when we do it. Did I say Friday? I meant Thursday. Thursday,
I think.
Okay, good. Thursday, 6 p.m. Pacific. Doing a little early today. Sometimes we'll do a little early. Sometimes we'll do a little later. You can tweet us, ask us when we're going to do it. We'll let you know. Otherwise, let's get to the show. We covered the top stories of the week that we find most interesting. We're going to start it off with the new Note 7. Now, the Note 7 is not out yet.
Don't you mean the Note 6? I mean, I'm just kidding.
No, I know. Note 7 is supposed to come out very, very soon. August 2nd is when they have an event scheduled to actually, everyone thinks they're just going to talk about it because there's been so many leaks and so many news stories coming out about it. The first little tidbit, I love Techno Buffalo. I'm always going there to get my news. It's a really easy place to get tech news on every single device. Anyways, they have a little commercial posted that spills a bunch of big features for the Galaxy Note 7, as they put it. One of them being waterproof, which isn't a surprise because the Galaxy S7 and S7 Edge are waterproof, so it's nice that they've carried that over to this generation of phone.
And do it very well.
You don't think?
No, and I said, and they do it very well.
Oh, I think that they didn't do it well.
No, it does more than it's promised, which is cool.
Yeah, it does. It's really cool. And then they also came out with an iris scanner. So basically, you hold the phone up to your face, and it will read your iris in your eye.
We'll see about that one.
Oh, I know. It's like it's a cool thing, but I mean, I know Microsoft phones already have it, or one Microsoft phone already has it. I haven't tried it, but
PCs have it. You know what? It's Microsoft, so it's Windows.
I would rather have Samsung. Doesn't have a great fingerprint sensor. It's okay. It actually gets it wrong more than I feel like it gets it right. Like Apple's is really legit. OnePlus is pretty good. OnePlus is really fast.
Yes.
Sometimes it'll miss it, but it's definitely more. It's faster and it's more accurate than the S7 is. So I just hope they've really improved the quality and the accuracy of the fingerprint sensor. The iris thing's cool though, man. If that thing actually works, I mean, when you hold your phone, sometimes it's like this. I don't know if you can see me. But a lot of the time, you are holding it like this, just to hold it up real quick, and if it sees your eye that quick and it can unlock it, I love that. It just makes life a little bit easier.
But it just can't unlock if I take your phone and then I hold up a picture of you, Yeah,
it does. I mean, but we'll see how well it is. I mean, August 2nd is when it's supposed to be announced, and then I heard that day actually you're going to be able to pre-order it, if not sooner than that. There was a rumor that T-Mobile was going to allow you to pre-order it starting this week, but we have one more day for that. We'll see if it actually happens. But other than that, waterproof, iris scanner. What else was there that kind of jumped out? I think that was it. That looks like it was it, like out of the thing there. And then also the other thing they were talking about is that it has a slightly curved display, which I'm actually kind of disappointed at. I think the curved displays are a little bit nichey. I know with my S7 Edge, I don't use the Edge at all. I have it completely turned off now at this point. Did you like the Edge or not really?
It was one of those things of like, I used it when I was reviewing it and to check it out, but it's kind of like Force Touch or 3D Touch or whatever on the iPhone, where like I can see where it would be useful, and if someone told me they use it all the time, I wouldn't like criticize them. But it's not one of those features that the mass majority, I think, super took off. Honestly, I think what the Edge did most is it it made it feel smaller in the hand, in one hand, than a 5.5-inch screen. But feature-wise, it didn't do much.
I totally agree with that. It makes the phone feel definitely way smaller than it really is. The Note 7 is going to be 5.7 to 5. I've even seen 5.8, so we'll see what it is. Lately, I've been hearing it's going to have 6 gigabytes of RAM.
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
I could definitely see the Note having that. I mean, obviously, the Note is meant to be their big tank of a.
Yeah, it has to, man. If the S7 has 4 gigabytes of RAM, and then the Note 7 comes out and has the same exact processor and has the same exact amount of RAM.
Do you know what milliamp the Note 5 was? Because I've never tried a phone that has more than 4,000 milliamp.
The Note 5 was only 3,000, I think.
Okay, I would
So
love
3,200 at the most. It definitely wasn't 4,000.
I'd love to see, because I'm trying to think, because I know at least one phone that has 4,000. Is that the active? S7 active?
There's a couple. There's a lot of. I know there's some Chinese phones that have 4,000.
Yeah.
Oh, the Blue HD or one of those.
That's yeah. I think that's it. But I would love to see to test out a phone that has over 4,000 milliamp. I'd be scared to, because if it was really nice, it'd be hard to go back to.
I don't know, man. If it's slow and laggy, I think it'd be easy to go back.
Oh yeah, I mean, obviously, if the rest of the phone sucked, but if it was a pretty good all-around phone, Samsung's the only phones that I like the hardware, but I want to turn off TouchWiz as fast as possible.
You know what? I don't understand why phone makers. Maybe it's just impossible, but whether they don't have, 2 ROMs you can choose from right when you start up the phone. You can either choose basic Google or you can choose the Samsung one.
Yeah.
And if you want to go back to one of the other ones, then you have to reset the phone and do the same thing over and over. Like you have it download to your phone. All it is a freaking download. I mean, I guess they'd have to support not two operating systems, but
it would
two.
Eat up storage quite a bit.
It would eat up storage, but it would also eat up resources at the company.
Yeah.
So that's probably why they don't do it. But so speaking of resources, Pokemon Go is stealing everyone's resources, especially their time. Yes. 75 million downloads. Now,
I know it's the number one, the most downloaded app in at least the iOS App Store in its first week. I don't know where it ranks in the Google Play Store. I'd imagine if it was number one in iOS App Store, it'd probably be the same.
Well, Techno Buffalo has a little graphic here that says they hit 50 million downloads in 19 days. The second place is Color Switch. That took 77 days.
Jeez.
So it's the fastest growing game. Everybody plays this. My wife, like I said last week, she plays this. Not all the time, but she does play it. So she's it's obviously hitting another spectrum of gamers for people that don't usually play games. That's cool.
What do you think about Pokemon Go, Michelle? I'm asking my girlfriend who was on camera. What?
It's so stupid.
Is that your official comment?
My official comment.
What level are you?
I don't even know what that means.
Did you hear about the guy that's level 40, which is the highest he can go, and he deleted his account?
Really?
Yeah.
Well, it probably took him. He probably played it for like 80 hours straight, and then probably lost any relationship, all family, all money.
His dog died. Cat died.
Yeah, his fish went belly up because he forgot to feed it.
So I mean, it's cool though. I'm glad that Pokemon is growing so fast. It brings. But what?
I don't know if we talked about this last week, but did you hear like the investors in Nintendo?
Yeah.
Went on a super uproar because everyone in the world realized that Nintendo didn't make this app, because when you start up the app, and now I'm blanking on the name that comes, Niantic or something like that. But Nintendo's name is nowhere to be found on this app. Niantic, something like that.
It's the Pokemon company.
But whatever the investors of Nintendo, like apparently last week, just had like a duh moment. Nintendo never tried to pass it off as their app.
Yeah.
And they only own like I think 30 or 40% of the Pokemon brand, or so, I forget those numbers, but it was so funny because the whole world's like, yeah, Nintendo doesn't make this app, but it's still a cool app. But the investors were like, oh my goodness, like I thought it was Nintendo.
Nintendo.
Yeah, why didn't they? What do you mean
Well,
they didn't make it?
You know what? Speaking of Nintendo, because this kind of goes along with it.
Hey,
Nintendo's...
you're welcome, transition.
Thanks for setting me up, man. Nintendo's newest system is about to come out. It's called Nintendo NX, and it's supposed to be a hybrid system, meaning that you can play it portably or you can play it with hooked up to your TV as like a standalone console. The cool thing about this is, and I've done a shite ton of videos on this, is it has the same processor as the NVIDIA Shield TV, which is, I think that's awesome because you're going to be able to bring this thing everywhere with you. Imagine it's going to be like a DS, but I guarantee it'll have a 1080p screen because 1080p screens are so cheap right now.
And doesn't take much to power it.
Exactly. And the other cool thing, 1080p, you can get decent battery life out of it now. And plus, I don't think Nintendo would go anything higher. They usually don't. They could, because this thing can do 4K. So it's built for. I bet you what will happen is it will be 1080p as a mobile system, and I bet I won't be surprised one bit is if when you hook it up to your TV, it plays Mario type games in 4K because it already can do that.
It.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. I'd have to say I'll probably end up picking one of these up. So that's the big thing from this is that it's going to have the NVIDIA X1 processor.
What do you think the price point will be?
You know what, they always kind of I always feel like they overprice their systems. Like even still, like a 3DS I think is
$200.
I think it's 200.
Yeah.
Look,
I believe like the XL is like 200, and you can get like something smaller for like 150.
Yeah, the XL is friggin' 180, dude. I mean, then 200 if you get the red one. It's way too expensive.
I would like to point out that Michelle couldn't get this open.
Good. To the victor goes the spoils, dude. It's gonna be too expensive. It's gonna be. I bet you it'll be $299 when it drops.
Yeah. Now, what's the Shield priced at?
$199 or $299. But you got to remember the Shield doesn't have. What's up? Wait, before we start going, Captain. What's up, buddy? Good to see you. Also, Yodozada. Sup with you,
Isn't
brother?
Captain like always on our podcast?
I hope so. I think so. But if you guys have questions before we continue with a Nintendo NX talk, ask in the chat room. We would love to answer some of your questions. We save that to the end a lot of the time, unless we're talking about a topic, but we can always answer some Q&A at the very end as well.
Yodaza, I would like to say, watch your language. This is a family show. Kidding.
I'll say whatever you want. But what I was saying,
Sorry.
yeah, I think they're going to overprice it. I think it'll be $299. I really think it should be $200. Have you played with a 3DS before?
A little bit. I haven't personally owned one, but
you've seen the screen. The screen's awful, right?
Yeah.
The screen's horrendous. It's so crappy. And if they do that again with a non-HD screen, it's a travesty.
I think that would be an immediate, like, if they had their announcement or whatever, before they could announce how badass like it looks or the specs or anything, if they just started with, oh, it's a 720p screen, like everyone would just get up and leave. It's like,
you know, it would look a hell of a lot better than it does now. As long as it has a 1080p screen, I'll be fairly happy. I'll be happy.
yeah.
And as long as it can do, it'll be able to do 1080p on the TV because their system that's out now can do that. We'll see what happens with it. It's exciting because they're trying something new, and it's supposed to be super revolutionary and new ways to play gaming. And I like that Nintendo pushes the envelope more so than Sony and Xbox do in that regard.
Yeah, for sure.
Speaking of pushing the envelope, OnePlus 3 released
continues to amaze.
3.2.2 update. It came out, I think, last week or something, but you and I just got it today.
Well,
you and I get updates the same time.
You're right. I don't know if that's true, because the article you sent me, I have it pulled up here. When was this from? 7/20. No, so this is just from 2 days ago. And then I just saw a tweet that OnePlus had this morning that said they're going to start the worldwide rollout.
Okay.
So it's only been the past like 48 hours that's been open. So you and I got it like 24 hours after it started. I woke up to it this morning
Okay.
and then texted you, and you said you got about the same. But yeah, I don't know if you want to talk about a couple of the different updates. I can talk about the video one because I actually had a chance to test
Talk
that.
about the video. I'll pull up all the stuff. Go ahead.
Okay. So one of the things that is listed is they didn't specifically list that they fixed the stabilization in the phone, because that's been probably my biggest gripe with the phone, as well as a lot of people. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, basically, if you watch my 1 month later video, I have an example video where I was holding it in my hand, so obviously it's not perfectly still, but any other optical image stabilized phone, if you hold it, it's pretty much smooth. And this one, it looked like I was like in a car going like 100 miles an hour over bumps or something. It was crazy. And so what I did when you sent me this article yesterday is I took a couple videos just to have before, and then I updated it obviously this morning, and I took a couple of videos again, and I can say that it is significantly better. Still, I'd say not the best stabilization I've ever seen, but I don't have much complaints anymore. I haven't tried like full running around with it. Again, for me, good stabilization in a phone starts at least when you're holding the phone normally.
Yeah. Well, some of the updates that came in are improved notification management in doze mode. Not a huge deal. Addressed alert slider silent mode issue. I think the issue with that is when you put it into silent mode and then you take it out of silent mode, your volume would still be off. Did you notice that? I think that's what that part is. I think that, because I remember I was like, what happened? They disabled fingerprint sensor in the pocket.
Yep. Which they now have a new animation that plays.
Yeah.
We were trying to get it up. It basically, here, I'll try it. Yeah.
Do it, dude. Do it.
So basically, we'll see if this goes on. All right. So it looks like that, and then I'll read it to you. It basically says, to activate your phone, please do not cover the blue area, which is all the proximity sensors up top, and clean dust. Press the back and volume up button at the same time to quit pocket mode function. So if you want faster access, or I don't see how this mode would affect any use, but if it is for some reason, you can hit the back button on Android down there, and then the volume up button at the same time, and it will disable the mode if you don't want that. So it's nice that they added it, but then you can still turn it off if you had no issues, and if this new feature adds a new issue.
Yeah, that's good.
Go ahead, sorry.
I was just going to go. I was just going to say some more stuff that came out. Did you have something else to add?
It's about one of the next things you'll probably say.
Oh, okay. They added an NFC toggle in the quick settings. Improved the noise cancellation in the video recording, which you said. Oh no, you said you were talking about the stabilization, huh?
Which is the recording codec.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, and then the updated the 4K recording codec, and then added the latest security patches and various optimizations.
Which is cool, because I mean that stuff is, probably a little bit of battery, probably some good, maybe a little bit more RAM and CPU management. I'm always we love going to app updates and phone updates and seeing these big new features, and we definitely overlook when it just says bug fixes, and everyone kind of does the like, oh man, it's just bug fixes. But I'm sure it does quite a bit. And the fact, comments everywhere when this update started coming out, and I completely agree. Like, is this update going to make this the perfect phone? No. Obviously, it's still, I'm sure, going to create some new bugs and not fix all the issues that everyone in the world had. But to see that this phone has been out, barely more than a month, And
Yeah.
they've already had 2 pretty significant updates, which is, I mean, that's more than what Apple does. That's more than what any phone manufacturer I've seen does.
Hey, Kane, welcome to the show. Adizio, welcome to the show.
What up?
What do you have coming up? Just to kind of like change topics a little bit and try to get more personalized here. What are you excited about coming up in terms of like devices?
I am excited to hopefully get my hands on the Note 7, as we talked about, because I would like to try that phone out. Obviously, we're getting into iPhone season a little bit around the same time, and not just iPhones, but hopefully see some Mac refreshes. I mean, still 2013 Mac Pro is still most updated. We're waiting on a 5K screen. I mean, there's a lot in the world of Apple that I'm waiting for to see.
Are you actually? And be honest. I mean, no one's going to hate you except for the people that watch the show. Are you more excited about? Are you more excited about the iPhone 7 or the Note 7? I won't answer for you.
I would say iPhone 7, just because I want to see what if they're going to change anything.
What if do you honestly think they will? I mean, besides having a bigger camera and like,
I'm really because all the rumors thus far has pointed to like no headphone jack, and either a big image sensor or on the Plus model having like dual cameras. I would love if they had an event that they came out, and I would like to see those 2 things, sure, but to see something, and I'm not necessarily looking so much as talking design change. I would like a design change just because I'm a fan of like the iPhone 5 more squared off. But I don't know, something different. There's rumors that the touch, the fingerprint sensor will be a capacitive touch, just like the OnePlus, compared to an actual button, which would be nice.
I don't think they're going to do that. You think what's the last thing they've changed that's like was like actually cool? I mean, that it was useful and cool.
Hardware-wise,
yeah,
I will say, I'm probably going to be the only guy to say this, but I'll say the Lightning port.
And dude, how long ago was it? Look, I'm staring right into the freaking camera. How long ago was that?
Oh, it was what? I mean, the fact that there's not even like water
4 years ago,
resistance.
right? 3 years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago?
Yeah, I started at Apple when the iPhone 5 launched, which was the first one to have Lightning, which was 2012.
So 5S, 6, 6S, and now the 7 is going to be the 5th year.
Yes.
That's sad, man. That's freaking sad.
The only defense I have to that, and I don't even care about defending it as much, and we say it every once in a while, is I don't think we're going to see as many changes in terms of like the actual phones. It's going to be how the phones interact with everything. Like, honestly, I would love to have, and this just popped on my head, I haven't thought it through, so if it's a terrible idea, I take it back. But so like Amazon, I love the Alexa like idea, like the whole Jarvis house speaking to you thing. It would be cool to have like a dock to set my iPhone in, and instead of needing a whole extra device like an Alexa, you just plug your phone in, and then if you had like little speakers or whatever set up throughout the house, I don't know, something like that. I
see what you mean. So you would need speakers and microphones.
Yeah, I don't blame Apple in terms of innovation in the design or hardware of phones and tablets, because I think there's only so many ways to make a rectangle. All I really care about is better image sensors, better battery life. Maybe, honestly, I want OLED display and waterproofness. If they gave me an OLED display and waterproofness, honestly, they could change nothing else. And I'd want more, sure, but I'd be fine with it.
It would be nice if they did have the waterproof. They don't, but
I think they're the only ones who are capable of really competing with Samsung. Because I've seen tons of water
Yeah, I
tests
agree with that.
with the S7, and they say it's like good for the IPX6 or whatever, where it's like 3 meters for like 30 minutes. I've seen people scuba dive up to like 30 feet before it cuts out. So it does really good.
Yeah, it does, and that's what's cool about Apple is they have all this money and they can compete with Samsung. Samsung had a huge year this year because of the S7 and the S7 Edge.
Doing real well.
I'm somewhat excited about the Note 7. Having the OnePlus 3 changed a lot of things for me in terms of being excited for a new device. I'm very satisfied with this device so far. I wish I should take more pictures to see if I really like everything about it. In terms I don't take a ton of pictures, so the camera's not amazing, but other than that, everything else is really good with it.
Yeah, I think this year, not just for OnePlus, but like the Axon 7 and the Blue, I think this year really has been a good year for, and I'm not going to say budget, but like Samsung's not American, but like not the big brands.
Yeah, and Captain just put a cool little comment in there about, and we talked about it before, the Moto mods. The Moto mods are cool because they allow you to add little, modifications to your phone, like a better speaker, more battery life, just by plugging it in. I like that.
Yeah.
I don't know if it'll catch on with the general public so much, because I think that's why people like Apple. I have another friend that just switched to an Android just for a couple of months because he's kind of in between phones and he left his carrier, and I'm letting him borrow my Nexus 6P, and it's like he likes it, but then he's like, I just want it to look like an Apple. I want the colors to be like Apple. I'm like, what? I mean, they basically want someone to control the whole thing. But then when they see some of the customization that they can do, and they can really design it the way they want in terms of the interface, I think that's when they kind of start liking it. And then they have they get used to the back button, and then maybe the recent apps button. And Apple doesn't have Apple has a recent apps button, but whatever. Not a dedicated one.
I think a $1 million idea would be if there was a store that you could go to and people could pick out, because exactly like you said, people could pick out a phone that they like a Nexus 6P.
Yeah.
But most people just don't want to deal with learning how to customize. So if you could go to a store where like the associates are like knowledgeable about iOS, Android, whatever, and be like, oh, I just want I like customizability of Android, but I just want it to look like this, and be like, all right, well, here's a OnePlus 3. Let me set it up with a specific launcher and a specific this. All right, here's your perfect phone. Yeah,
it'd be nice. I mean, I kind of wonder sometimes if we'll see an Android store show up, because Google has a lot of money. I don't know if they ever will, but
I just think like there's too many options. Like there'd be so many, because if it's just a Android store, then they would have to accept everything from the 6P, which would be easy because it'd be probably Google employees, all the way to that whatever $5 Android smartphone that Unbox Therapy and Austin Evans looked at.
Right. It's true. I mean, we'll see what happens. The future's now, tomorrow, whatever. But we'll see what happens with them. Before we get going, what do you have coming up on your channel?
I got actually finishing up. That'll be up tomorrow. I got sent this speaker from Palmarks. It's surprisingly very good, waterproof and NFC capable Bluetooth 4
nice.
Speaker for
like
$35. And then
awesome.
I'm gonna do a 3.2.2 update and show how the 4K stabilization's gotten better, and do a couple different tests and battery tests.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, and I have I have a new video about how to transfer books from EPUB to so you can read them on your Kindle, which is kind of a cool video. I'll give you a tutorial on that. I'll do a 3.2.2 update video on this, and then that's about it. That's all I have. That's what I've done so far. Before we get going, Captain's saying he loves Android. The only thing that kept me from switching was the iMessage
Yes.
and FaceTime. Captain, don't let that hold you back.
No.
They're trying to lock you into the ecosystem. Don't let them strangle
I
you.
am 100% in agreement. If we talked about this before WWDC, if Apple came out with an iMessage for Android app, I would be able to so easily switch between iOS and Android all the time.
You can't. What do you need iMessage so bad for? Because it's blue, and now you can make them stickers and bullshit.
No, all right. I agree with you that the new iMessage is going to be a little too much for my taste, but when 90% of the people you know have iMessage, when group message don't work with Android people, and
It works fine for me. I don't know.
whatever. It sounds stupid, but Captain, I completely, I'm right there with you.
Honestly, when I had Apple a couple years, 3 years ago, whatever it was, 4 years ago now, I thought the same thing. I was like, I need FaceTime. I need.
I don't care about FaceTime too much, but
Whatever.
iMessage. Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, it's cool. Yeah, that shit's just built into the system, But I don't know. Hopefully, when Google comes out with was it Allo and I forget what the other one's called now. Whatever, their iMessage, FaceTime competitors. I mean, you still have to download it, but hopefully it'll be just as good and work as good.
Yeah, maybe I'll give that a shot, and then I'll fully be able to give it up.
Well, guys, if you have any questions, we're here every Thursday, 6 p.m. Pacific, sometimes a little earlier, sometimes a little later. Follow us both on Twitter, him at Initial Focus LLC and me at GregglesTV. Make sure you subscribe to his channel. Awesome videos, guys. He's growing like a madman, so jump on the train before it takes off without you. And always make sure you follow me too, guys. Thanks for watching. We will see you down the road. Peace.
Peace. Trying to be your echo.